Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Climate EDU. I am your host, Kayla Anderson, and today I'm joined by Dr. Vilas Nitivatanana, who is the professor and dean of the School of Environment, Resources, and Development at the Asian Institute of Technology. Dr. Vilas has been leading infrastructure and environmental sustainability initiatives at AIT for the past 17 years, and the institute is ranked 15th in the world, the first in Asia, for addressing Sustainable Development Goal number 1, which is no poverty, and the top 200 in the world for overall SDGs. Today, we will be talking about the School of Environment, Resources, and Development at AIT, which is committed to the building of professionals playing leading roles in different sectors of sustainable development at the local, national, and global scales, in partnership with public, private, and community stakeholders through knowledge development and management, with innovative technologies and social impacts. Dr. Vilas, thank you so much for joining me on Simpatico today. Welcome in.
Thank you, Kayla. I'm very pleased being here.
Yeah, it's wonderful to have you here, and we'll go ahead and start getting right on into it. And my first question for you is, could you tell us a bit about AIT?
The Asian Institute of Technology, or AIT, was founded in 1959, more than 60 years ago, in Thailand, as an quite international English-speaking postgraduate institution, providing engineering, environment, and management education and research, focusing on sustainable development and social impact issues.
Wonderful. And I'm very impressed that AIT has been ranking so high on addressing the Sustainable Development Goals.
Yeah, we are also quite proud with that.
Mm-hmm. And so my next question then is, what inspired the creation of the School of Sustainable Development at AIT?
Yeah, it's quite interesting question. As we all know, the sustainable development has been more and more challenging, not only in specific area for different parts of the world, and also different sectors. Our School of Environment, Resources, and Development, in short called CERT, cover environment, resources, and development. So we see good opportunity from our traditional offering to focus on the long-term sustainable development, in particular achieving different sustainable development goals in different parts of the world.
I love it. And so what types of programs are currently being offered at the School of Sustainable Development at AIT?
Yeah, we have quite a number of programs, more than 18 in total. Divided into 3 departments or groups. The first group dealing with environment, energy, and climate change. So this is quite clear that we are focusing on the very emerging issue, including the climate change. The second group dealing with the food, bioresources, and agriculture, dealing with the issue about food security, poverty, and so on. And the third group is quite large, dealing with broader development and sustainability, as mentioned. There are a total of 17 SDGs. So this last group try to cover from the rural, urban, and different sustainable development goals and issues.
Mm-hmm. So with the first category, I'm actually quite curious about how is climate change being talked about in like the first group of degrees? I know it's a little bit off our script here, but I'm actually quite curious about this.
Yeah, climate change has its own focus. Basically, we can call like climate change science to understand the phenomena, the movement, and the change in the in the climate. Also, we talk about climate change mitigation. In other words, try to reduce the greenhouse gas emission. And the third area is adaptation, that's what we call. Try to manage the risk or impact from the climate change. So within these 3 areas, we also integrated with other areas like energy, environment, and social issue, because climate change is not a standalone. And in fact, climate change is one of the 17 SDGs, also linked to other SDGs.
So it sounds like AIT is really focusing on addressing all the SDGs and trying to be like a leader in this area.
Yeah, exactly. We are trying to cover as many as possible among the 17 SDGs. Obviously, not equally among them, but we are trying to integrate them and also achieve many as much as possible.
I love it. And so on like more of the admissions and kind of academic related questions, what are you looking for in applicants for the School of Sustainable Development? Starting with undergraduates, what kind of students are you looking for?
Yeah, I like to clarify our institution actually focusing on the postgraduate level.
Okay.
So we don't offer the undergraduate level of the education. Mm-hmm. So we are targeting the graduates from different disciplines because we are quite diversified. So from the engineering, from architecture, from economics, ecology, or social science. So the student can choose a different program we are offering. Also, I'd like to mention that we very much like to build the capacity of the professionals in the short term after their graduation. So we look at the students who have very strong interest and willingness to be professional in this area. And also in the long term, we have quite good record. Many of them become the leaders in the future. That's what we also expect.
Could you provide an example of someone who has graduated from one of your programs then taking a leadership position?
Yeah, we have a number of alumni working in like Asian Development Bank, which is quite important in Asia. Also in the government sector, some of our alumni now holding the position at ministerial levels at the national government. At least one of them now city mayor in Afghanistan. So those are examples of our very distinguished alumni.
I love it. So really diverse and a lot of great experience it sounds like that they're getting.
Yeah, exactly.
And so for students who might be interested in applying at AIT, who should interested students reach out to in order to get more information about like specific programs and like divisions at AIT and in the School of Sustainable Development?
Yeah, it's a very good question. You know, this question might be quite challenging many years ago. Nowadays, we have quite diversified channels of communication. So our prospective students can choose to communicate with us in different channels. They may contact our faculty members directly. Once they go to the website, they can see the list of our faculty members with their expertise in different programs, or they can just send information to our staff responsible for the admission, for providing information. And obviously, as mentioned, through different channels. Thank you.
Well, and so what kind of projects is the School of Sustainable Development going to be working on this year? As we're already about reaching almost halfway through May already, but what kind of projects have you been currently working on and what seems to be kind of in the timeline for the rest of this year?
Yeah, maybe I'd like to start mentioning about our education first. We have been offer traditional programs, in other words, 2-year master program, 3.5-year doctoral programs in the past year. With the current year, we are offering some new types of offering for the degree option. For example, 1-year master program, 1-year professional master program. We also opening up what we call the flexible degree option. You know, because of the COVID pandemic at the moment, we have to offer a hybrid system, partly online. So we see the difficulty for students to attend class on our campus. So this new flexible degree option would allow students to study at home and interact with our faculties, with our facilities online. So we call the flexible degree option. And we also promoting more and more exchange internship for our students.
So you said exchange internships. So could we elaborate a bit more on that? Like, so what types of internships are going to be available and like what kind of experience will they be getting in that?
Yeah, our AT in particular in our school, we have quite good network with our alumni, which I have mentioned, and also different partner and stakeholder. So we connect to government agency, alumni from the business and also non-government organization. And within this network, we facilitate exchange and internship for our students. So it's one of our biggest strengths that we have at AIT.
So it sounds like it's kind of a direct pipeline of going to AIT, getting the educational experience, and then going directly into an internship, which can eventually lead to a career.
Yeah, exactly. I forgot to mention, in addition to the education we are working at the moment, we also try to promote more applied research. As mentioned, this applied research we work in partnership with our alumni and stakeholders. That would also facilitate better in terms of the exchange and internship.
So, with the alumni, then it sounds like they're pretty involved in the students' education like process and like internships and providing opportunities. Like it sounds like the alumni aren't like kind of graduating and going on their own way. They're still staying involved with the community.
Yeah, exactly. We have a very strong alumni network from our headquarters based in Bangkok, and a number of what we call alumni chapters in different parts of the world. We have a total of more than 100 alumni chapters all over the world, including in the US, in Europe, and different parts of the world.
That is very impressive. So, oh, okay, that is very impressive. All right. So with all of that information then, so it sounds like AIT is definitely a school where if someone really wants to kind of think of the correct phrase here, but just get on the ground and just run with it. Like this is a program in school dedicated for people who are taking this really seriously and really want to be involved with what the topic that they're studying.
Yeah, we may call ourselves like the regional hub internationally and providing this platform for both developing and developed countries of the professional to study and also conduct research together. So different stakeholders can play a different role. Some of them provide research fund. Some of them provide like the research study area or equipment. So CERT at AT very much quite unique, providing capacity buildings for, as mentioned, for professional in the short term, and if possible to be the leader for the long term, both in Asia and also beyond.
Oh, it definitely sounds like it. Like everything that you're saying, AIT is on my list of universities to definitely check out, that's for sure.
You are very welcome.
Yeah. I'm honestly the climate change school sounds very interesting. There's been more conversation around like climate focused programs being implemented in various universities. So that's something I am really looking forward to, especially as we have like the next generation of students and leaders wanting to get involved and really make a difference as we'll see what happens at the Conference of the Parties this year, and fingers crossed that it opens up more doors for opportunity.
Yeah, I look forward to that.
Mm-hmm. Well, is there anything else that you would like to share about AIT or the School of Sustainable Development before we begin to kind of wrap the episode up here?
I think at the moment we are facing the challenge, and the challenge here provide maybe also some opportunities. Mm-hmm. So we see that we're really dynamic change, and obviously our school, including AIT as a whole, try to be very much adaptive, and we look forward to cope with the situation of the pandemic and in the short term. And this can also provide some opportunity, in other words, capacity buildings and some specific types of research. That's why I have mentioned we are offering some new type of the programs and also the innovative types of the offering, including teaching and learning.
And Actually, so on the hybrid programs with it being online and so is it a full mix of just online or is it partial online, partially in the classroom?
Yeah, we have established what we call the smart modified classroom within our campus more than a year ago. And this is very much supported by our alumni, which I have mentioned, because they play quite a major role in terms of funding and also technology. So within this hybrid system, very much the same like if students are on the campus, they just go and attend within the class. And the faculty get into the class and teach in front of the class. But we also connect the learning and teaching through the online system. The students in other places in their home country could also connect and also attend. So they could also participate and see almost everything happening in the class. And the student in the class can also see the movement of the student at home. So it's quite a innovative way that we have come up with this, what we call the smart modified classroom.
That's really cool. So it's like so it's okay. It's not just a Zoom call like with everyone's webcams there. It's like they're actually present, well, present in the classroom, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, approximately about half of our students attend class on site. Maybe I know about another half attend online. That's what we experienced in the past 1 year.
Man, I wish more universities out here did that. As opposed or implement something like that as opposed to Zoom all the time. I'm really looking forward to seeing where university classrooms that they end up, and hopefully we'll see more smart adaptive classrooms because I imagine then with this system has it been opening doors or more doors for like international students to be able to attend the university?
Yeah, obviously this is a good question. Yeah, we still have some restriction
Mm.
in terms of our normal class offering, but we are considering, as mentioned, there are some new types of the program. For example, professional master program. So we are discussing and try to see how we can be more diversified, offering to the wider audience. But in terms of the not the degree, we call the non-degree programs like short-term training. There could be more opportunity for this issue.
Well, Dr. Vilas, thank you so much for joining me, taking time out of your schedule and for our time zones to line up to produce this episode. I'm going to go ahead and roll the end credits here. Just hang on one moment and we'll be right back.
All right, you are very welcome. Thank you.